It's my pleasure to have Chuck Billy, the frontman from Testament, on the phone with us here on the Metal Bar. G'day, Chuck. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. How about you?
Yeah, good, man. Can I just say before we start this, fuck, I love Testament.
Me too.
We're on the same page there then. That's
too.
good.
It's been good to me for 30 years.
Oh man, no, I really love your work. Love what you do, and yeah, love the band, man. You guys are fucking awesome. You're a staple for me.
Right on, man. I appreciate that.
No worries. So get the fanboy out of the way early, right?
You got a chance to hear the whole record yet?
Yeah, man. Yeah, and it's a great record. I mean, like, you know, I thought Dark Roots was huge, you know, with Gene jumping on board, but this has gone next level again. I think it feels more intense. It feels more aggressive.
The second gear, and then in the third gear.
Yeah, man, it's outstanding. I mean, for you guys, I mean, given, you know, the success that you had with Dark Roots in terms of, you know, your chart success and things, did you feel, you know, much pressure coming into recording this to try and step that up again?
Well, there's always pressure, and you're always trying to outdo your last record, and this record had to be probably the hardest record for me personally to ever write. You know, we worked on this thing for about 2 years, and over the 2 years' time between me and Eric, because Eric had all the songwriting on his shoulders and myself, you know, we just couldn't get the songs written, man, even all the way up to the point of getting into the studio. So by the time we hit in the studio, there was probably a lot of frustration and anger and just a lot of emotions going on. And we had to get in the studio to get a record out this year by June, and we had to go in. We seen that Gene had a few weeks off available, so we just booked the studio time and went in. First time we ever did that without rehearsing or doing a demo. And a lot of it just really came together just on the spot. I think our backs are against the wall and just really dug down deep, and maybe that emotion and that everything, anger and angst, everything in there just poured out onto this record. But at the end of the day, you know, now we're sitting back going, man, okay, the argument, I don't want to go through that again, but however this record came out and got to this point, I guess that's what we had to go through to get it.
Yeah, how do you find, you know, writing with Gene? Because, you know, it feels like much as as a vocalist, you know, you're a guy that you can go the deathy side of things. You can do the clean stuff. You've got the epic melodic vocal thing. You can do a lot of things. Well, Gene, from a percussion point of view, is a bit the same. He kind of probably offers you more than what you've ever had in the past, right?
Oh, totally. Gene's a monster. He can play whatever you throw at him. He's got it. You know what I mean? He is the man. He's definitely one of the top drummers we ever got to share the stage with, and he kicks ass every night. You know, you just know him, and especially with Steve DiGiorgio playing bass with him. It's solid back there. You know.
Yeah, man, it's really solid. You talked about the writing. I mean, you know, things that I've read have said that you guys started writing separately on the road as far back as 2013 when you were touring. But you're saying that, you know, you maybe had a little trouble writing this record. It was the hardest record you've had to write. From what point of view? You're talking about inspiration? You're talking about ideas? You're talking about trying to fit it all together?
The music, putting it all together. We had a lot of riffs and stuff, and Eric kind of threw it at me and just said, here, just write a bunch of words. We don't know where the leads are and we'll kind of put it all together. Just write your ass off. So I did. And the songs, after 2 years, we just really didn't have a start. Well, they started, but they just never finished. And they never got really arranged. And just, I don't know what was going on between me and Eric, but whatever it was, just, it wasn't getting done. And, you know, I think, like I said, once we got in the studio and the pressure was on, I think that's when all of us and everything just kind of, all right, we have no choice, let's go. And, you know, working with Gene, you know, definitely, you know, he's capable of playing anything. And Eric, I think, threw everything at him, what to put on this record, and he just killed it, you know.
In terms of lyric writing as well for yourself, I mean, you know, it's on you to come up with, to fill all that space with a vocal. I know you've talked to, you know, the Brotherhood of the Snake, and there's been some talk about that Brotherhood of the Snake, and it kind of almost reads like something that Robert E. Howard would have written. I mean, for you, inspirationally, you know, what are you reading on the road? Where are these ideas coming from?
Well, was inspired because, you know, the last couple records, and everything was real personal, a lot of the lyrics and songs, and Eric had mentioned this year. It's like, hey, can we just let's try to come up with something that's not so personal. Let's try to come up with something that's more of a conceptual, visual idea, and something that's cool that we could, write some cool stories about. And so that's kind of what set me like, all right, I'm into that. So that's when I kind of stumbled across the Brotherhood of the Snake, and I had this, wild fascination watching these shows on television about, aliens, and documented like around the world, for thousands of years through a lot of cultures, these alien beings and these flying objects across the sky that were documented in, their history. And just makes you think, how were these sightings so on the other sides of the world? And, it's like maybe there is something to this alien thing, and just kind of made, your mind open to the possibilities.
Yeah, that's great, man. I mean, and is something like, is that kind of sci-fi thing something you've previously been into? I mean, I know, talking to other vocalists around, that they get inspired by stuff that they've read, and they're into certain novelists.
That kind of stuff I'm interested in, not so much in novels, but I think the history. I mean, because it's so unknown, and especially me raised as a Catholic, and being taught stories of the Bible when you're young, and I lived a lot of years on this planet, and I have maybe a different opinion or outlook on possibilities of other gods or beings, or just the creation of man is maybe there's some question. There's just a lot to digest in a lot of this, and a lot of it's I think it's factual. It's it's talking to people that are actually in the Army and the Air Force, and people that aren't just off the street making up stories.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, because there's plenty of that around. I saw something online the other day, and they had a picture of what was like a humanoid type being that was like an eagle with wings and a beak, and it was held this object in its hand. And they had this carving from Mesopotamia, and they had almost identical carving from about the same time from Colombia, the other sides of the world, that date back about 6,000 years. It's pretty crazy.
Oh yeah. That's what they refer to as the Starman. A lot of those old stories, that's they refer to him as that being with the beak and the wings and everything.
Yeah, man, it's a great inspiration, and like I said, I'm really enjoying the record. And in fact, I know the guys at Blabbermouth. I was just reading some reviews previously, and the opening line of their review of your album is using the superlative "instant classic comes with responsibility." But that's what they're calling this, man. Brotherhood of the Snake. That's a great way to open a review. What's your reaction to hearing that before it's even out on the street?
Well, I mean, especially coming from like a Blabbermouth, that's pretty. They don't give many people a break, so to get that from them, right on, But I think maybe they feel what we had felt putting into this record, because there is a lot going on, a lot of emotion. It definitely is what we said we were going to do. We were going to put our foot on the gas pedal on this record and speed things up, and I think, hell yeah, every song is almost like thrash,
Yeah, man, and it's a fucking great record, man. I really enjoying it. Chuck Billy on the phone with us here on the Metal Bar. And Chuck, I've got to say, I mean, on Dark Roots, you explored some themes on there around, sort of your heritage and the way Native American Indians are treated in the US. Yeah. What's your take on what's happening in North Dakota at the moment?
Well, I mean, there's people supporting them from all around the country, and I think people have taken notice, but it's a shame that big corporate business would, even consider, ruining the environment, I mean, it's just unreal to think it. But I'm glad that they're taking a stand, and, people are really supporting from everywhere around the country, around the world for that matter.
Yeah, we're definitely hearing about it down here, man. It's it's unbelievable, some of the things going on. It's what's supposed to be, I guess, is held up as the beacon for democracy around the world, and yet it's happening in the backyard, and under obviously the umbrella of this election as well. The with Trump and Hillary going head to head. Yeah. I mean, it's. I fortunately or unfortunately, whichever way you look at it, I've had people say to me in the past, "Why do you care about American politics?" It's like, well, America pretty much dictates what's going on in the world, so we have to care. I mean, we're here on that. It feels like between a rock and a hard place with Trump and Hillary.
So how do you think I feel? I got to live in it. So, here's. So yeah, it's definitely the most for me in my lifetime seeing the most crazy election in just the political stance. I mean, for debates, unreal. I mean, it's almost like kids on the playground, going after each other. I mean, it's Trump going after President Clinton. It's like, what's he have to do with Hillary running for fucking president?
Yeah.
It's like, geez, it's just really lame. No agendas, you hear it.
Yeah, I think I saw it summed up best. Somebody had put up the real pity about this election is one of them has to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Indeed. All right, man. Well, on to slightly less.
21, I would think Hillary.
Yeah, the lesser of two evils. I think there's an album in that somewhere.
Yeah.
Now, one song I really want to talk to you about and get you to talk us through it is The Number Game, the last track on the record, which is a story about a guy on a killing spree over sort of 14 days and everybody's number. Where did this come from, man? And why isn't it a comic book yet?
Everybody pulls a number. Yeah, I know. It's that song. Me and Steve Souza from Exodus wrote that song, and I was stuck on the 14 days and 14 lives line. And when we got together, it's like, I'm just stuck, and I just hear that line being repetitive, and that's when we came up with the idea. Why don't we make it for a serial killer on a killing spree, killing one person every day for 14 days. So basically, it's the number that you are is who you're next in line. It's basically just the guy counting down his victims. It just made for an interesting kind of topic,
It's a great story, and it feels like it could be fleshed out. It feels like a story that's waited to be expanded on and told. And I see that Slayer have teamed up with Dark Horse, and they've done a series of comics based on stuff off their latest record. Is that something that you've looked at doing yourself?
I haven't looked at it, but that'd be badass.
That'd be a great idea. This would be a perfect song to hang it on, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, indeed, man, indeed. Well, Chuck, listen. Sure. I mean, this new record from you guys, Brotherhood of the Snake, is absolutely superb. We've already talked about it being an instant classic. It is one of the great thrash records, and we really look forward to seeing you down here at some point. Can you give us an idea of where you might be going on the tour, and if you're going to get to sort of Asia, Australia, maybe within Kui?
Well, we're working Australia and Asia and Japan, I believe, in February. So I know we're trying to get us there because I keep having our agent. We haven't been there. Please get us there. So I know it's in the works. I hope it really comes together and get there because 30 years overdue.
Yeah, you're not wrong, man. Hey, listen, thanks very much for your time, Chuck. Really appreciate it. And once again, props on the album. You've done a fantastic job, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you for having me, man. We'll talk soon.